Magandang araw. Ako si Kuya Code. Today we'll be discussing some the Python string problem validator on Hackerrank. So I'll introduce five included or methods that are included in the string class. These are is alnum, is alpha, is digit, is lower, and is upper. These are pretty self-explanatory given the name, but I'll just show you some examples. So we'll start with is alnum. So if we have a string. Um, our string equals Python 123. So this is our string, and then the method you use directly on the string. So you have the string variable dot for the method operator to get access to the methods, and then is alnum, and then just like that. Well, I guess we'll have to print that. Print that. Save it. F5. This is true because this string only has the al part represents alpha, which is letters, and the num part represents numbers. So it's saying true because this string only has numbers and letters. So we'll actually just make it easier. We'll just do it like this instead. So this one is true. Of course, if I were to print, I'll just copy this to make it easier. Oops, copy this one. If I were to print 123 dot is alnum. This one is also true because it all again has numbers and letters. And next we will do hello space world dot is alnum. This one will return false. I forgot this. This one returns false because the space between the two letters is not a alpha character and it's not a number either. So any punctuation would automatically return false in this case. And also, if I were to just do, if I were to just do it like this would also return false because it's an empty string. If there's an empty string or anything like an empty list or false, that's considered falsy and it would just be false. Okay, so that's pretty self-explanatory. The next one we will do is alpha. So I can print. I'll just do it like this. Is alpha. This, of course, is checking if the string is alpha. So if there is no alpha, then it won't actually return true. So of course we can just do Python. This is expected to be true. This one is 1, 2, 3. These are not alpha characters, so that's expected to be false. And likewise, if I actually just copy the hello world example, hello space world, again, that's going to be false because it has the space. And then, of course, if you have an empty string, this is also going to be false. So if we run that, right, so we'll actually just put an empty string there just to split them. Right, so the first one is true because it's only alpha. This one has digits, this one has a space, and this one is empty, so those three are false. All right, the next one is digit. Is digit. So we got, of course, digits. That's going to return true. We got 3.45. This one is going to return false because even though these are digits, technically the point is not a digit, so even though it's a number, it's a floating point number, it's still gonna return false because of that's not a digit. And obviously this is a number. Technically, it's the number 3, but it's letters, so that's also going to turn false. And then, like always, the empty string is going to return false as well. So if I press F5, true, false, false, false. Perfect. There's 2 more, which are also self-explanatory. We have, I'll just grab that, is lower. So this is referring to uppercase and lowercase. So if I put hello, that's obviously return true. And if I put, oops, any of these are capital, digits are ignored, but oopsie, that's going to also be false. Okay, and then of course if you have numbers, it's gonna, like, numbers don't have anything related to uppercase or lowercase, so those are just ignored. So that's gonna return false as well. Actually, that's gonna be return true. Actually, sorry, this is what I meant to do. If these are lowercase and you still have letters, because a number can't be uppercase or lowercase, they're just completely ignored. So that's still gonna return true. And then of course, if I have, one of them that's uppercase, it's going to return false. This one is also going to return false. Because even though, so considering the numbers are ignored, then what you're looking at is just an empty string. It's the same. So it would still be false. So these 2 are true, and then these 3 are false. I'm going to close this so I can refresh it. And then the last one, I can just copy and paste this and do as upper, because it's basically the opposite. So that's true. That's also true. This is false. This is still false, and this is still false. Oopsie, I forgot to change that. Is upper, is upper, is upper, is upper, is upper. Yep, true, true, false, false, false. And then one other thing, what if we wanted to check, let's say, where is it? This one, for example, if we have a string, which is that, what if we wanted to check if any of them are upper? Because if you check is lower, it's going to return false because one of them is upper. And if you're going to check upper, it's going to return false because one of them is lower. But if you want to check if any of them are upper or lower, we can actually do that as well. There is an any keyword. So we'll just print, there's an any keyword. And then inside of here, we can do string dot is upper for the st in s. So that, let's see what that prints. It was never closed. I forgot to close it. Let me get rid of all of these. Can I do? I cannot do that. We'll just close that for now. And I believe this is right. See, that is returning true because it's always going to return true if at least one of them is upper. So, and one other thing though is that it once it finds the upper for a true value, it's not going to continue. So if this is like a million characters long and you find one uppercase, at the index 2, it's just going to stop. It's not going to do the whole thing because it doesn't really matter, because this checks basically if any of them are upper or lower or whatever you have. And this, of course, just loops through. So for every letter in the string st, it's going to check if any of them is going to do this. This basically just returns a list, and then you're passing the list into the any keyword, and then it looks at every single one and then determines if it's true or false. So when it comes to the Hackerrank problem, it's basically the same thing. So for example, if you have this, it's going to return true. If you're going to have this, it's going to return false. Um, Here, this one is also true. This one is false because it has a number. Looking at these other ones here, this is digit. This is false because it doesn't have digits. That is true because it only looks at the letters and they're all lowercase. This is false. And these are pretty self-explanatory. So with this one, it's going to return true for all of them because we have a lowercase, we have an uppercase, and we have a digit, and we have alpha, because these ones are alpha, and we have alpha num because it also includes numbers. There's no punctuations or anything like that. So in order to get true for all of them, we have to use the any keyword, because if you don't use the any keyword for all of the different string methods here that we have, it's always going to return false in one of the cases unless we use the any keyword. So that's basically the goal. So we can just print any. Well, actually, I can just kind of prove my point here. This is st dot is l num print. So I'll just copy and paste. There's al num alp or alpha is digit, is lower, and then is upper. So if I print that the way that it is, this one is al num because it contains alpha and numeric characters, but this is just going to return all false because for is digit, it's false because it includes characters that are not digits. So that's why we need to use the any keyword. So we're going to print this. Oh, I can't do that. Nice. For s in st, it's going to print that, but then we will wrap that in brackets and just put in any, and this should work. I did something wrong. What did I do wrong? Let me see. Oh, that's why. That has to be S, because S is coming from this. Okay, and that is all true. And let's go ahead and submit this. Waiting on the last one. Okay, we are good to go. So if you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe for more coding challenges. Let me know in the comments if you have any other questions or suggestions for future videos. See you next time on Kuya Code. Paalam.